Welcome. Good afternoon. Good evening. You're joining us on Canal Radio and Listening Party, and you are tuned in to the Good Evening Podcast. I guess this is the Good Evening Side Chick Podcast.
Something like that.
Something like that. I'm joined by my fellow constituents slash, I guess, hosts, co-hosts.
Host.
Yeah, I guess I work with you guys.
we're all hosting this.
Sons of bitches. Jason Scott Henderson, Lionel Bees is not my middle name, Lopez,
That's right.
Oh, I like that.
and Johan motherfucking Chiraboga.
Your name is pronounced Johan.
My name is pronounced Johan in Germany.
That's all that matters, I guess.
It's a German name. I got it from a Dutch soccer player.
Not the musician?
No, Johan.
The classical musician?
No.
Oh, Sebastian Bach.
No, my dad did not go to any of his concerts. He was not old enough to be let in.
But John, explain to me why. I really want to know at what point you decided to introduce yourself as Johan. Having known you for like 15 years, I feel like that took place 2 years ago, and it was just like, hi, my name's Johan. Now,
I think it got
all
to
of a
a
sudden.
point where I was constantly.
no one can mispronounce. Like, there's no mispronouncing
No,
Johan.
There is. There absolutely
There could be a
is.
Johan.
No, yeah. There's like a Johan, a Joe. Like there would be several mispronunciations to the mispronunciations
yeah.
to the point.
I don't
Also,
see
too,
how.
I think before
Yeah.
he even started switching it up on heads,
I would have to repeat it like
I
five times.
think some people even jumped the gun and would say Johan.
No, like your name is Johan, motherfucker.
I feel like I've
Yeah.
like over the years of I feel like I've heard
People
especially
would try
like
to
white
correct
girls.
me on my own name.
like Johan.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I feel like
not
you're lying.
Johan.
I feel like
No.
you're
I feel
lying.
like you're
I'm
lying.
telling you,
You're a liar,
it added
and I think
so
it was.
many seconds to introducing myself. To the point where we're like, you know what? I don't want to fucking know you.
I just think
This is
you
too
know,
much.
you grew up a little bit, and you wanted to be part of a new
Oh.
persona.
Like I wanted to wear a scarf
Yeah.
in public now.
Yeah, and twist the ends of the mustache a
Yeah.
little bit,
Yeah, I wanted to have a handlebar mustache, ride around in a unicycle,
which is fine. Which is fine.
Niggas
Just
want to
as
be
long
distinguished.
as long as you admit it.
become vegan and only drink craft beer, and name myself Johan. No, that is not the case.
All right.
It's funny because that's it. That's what all of my Queens friends say. All of my Queens
That you
friends.
changed.
Wait, they say what?
That you switched up on them.
Whenever I say
Code switched?
whenever I say Johan in front of my friends that grew up with me from Queens, they're like, oh, Johan.
Yeah.
How fancy.
Because you're trying to leave them in the hood.
I mean, I am.
Yeah.
I am.
Damn.
Which is fine.
I'm not
Which
trying
is
to go
fine.
back.
I think we're all trying to.
I'm not looking back.
Yeah.
What?
Fuck that.
No, never.
Leave them.
Never again.
Leave them in 2002.
I ain't never going back.
Damn.
Inichi jeans.
Damn.
Nietzsche. You know what? I couldn't even afford a Nietzsche jeans.
I only, I bought a pair.
One pair of Jabot jeans. That's it.
I think it was a Nietzsche or a Jabot, and I bought one pair at an outlet
Yes.
because I could not
Yeah.
afford Pepe
It's
or.
mad expensive.
I mean, they were like 100 something.
All right, and
Plus.
at that age, do you have
Yeah,
a
no.
job to be buying yourself a
At
hundred
that
pairs?
age, 100 is
It's
bread,
bread.
now for
Yeah,
dinner.
yeah,
Yo, your,
right?
your parents ain't buying you that shit unless they got bread. Like, to
Yeah.
be quite honest.
Yeah.
Your parents are like, I'm gonna drop $100 on my son.
I think the interesting thing about that experience with trying to buy designer clothing or expensive clothing or flashy clothing when you're young and your parents providing versus when you get older, obviously you're more conscious of your budgeting, but also you realize brands like Levi's and The Gap and now Uniqlo, etc., provide quality
Yeah. At an affordable price.
at an affordable price, quality replacements or whatever. So it's like you don't even need that shit. Like,
And
No.
then you also appreciate the heritage in some of the brands. Like
course.
Levi's was kind of like, Levi's is it's whatever. But
they've
then,
gotten cooler as we got older. Yeah,
And if you
But
got
they've always
fucking
been cool.
style,
No, yeah.
though.
and
True.
we were hating.
that's true.
If you got style, you really don't have to worry about buying a name brand. You could kind of pick
Sure,
and choose and
but
all that other shit.
But I think that mindset or the evolution of having style, whether it be organic and learned, is it's a maturity thing.
of course.
Because when you're in fucking elementary school, you're not conscious of
No,
that.
not in elementary school. But I knew there were several people in high school who were like, I mean, I think even I had that mindset of like, you know what, this is affordable and this looks good. Like, I think one of the most telling things was right after high school. I think we were both working. All three of us actually were working at like either Transit, Active Warehouse,
At the same
or
time.
Sports Lane,
Michael K.
or Michael K.
I never
on
made it
Broadway,
to Michael
by
K.
Broadway and Lafayette.
That was I wasn't flying enough. I don't
Racist
think.
ass motherfuckers. Anyway,
None of us.
I did. But anyway, but they
Stock room or
they
what?
no they
You were on
they
the floor.
No, I was
Oh,
on the
shit.
floor, and they tried to demote me to the stock room because he literally came into a staff meeting. The
It's just
owner,
like-
he's like, when I bought this store, I bought it for my son, and I wanted it to be like an upscale streetwear kind of place to be, but I didn't imagine the people working here would be so colorful.
Oh shit! He was like, "You Mexican."
No,
Go
not only
downstairs.
me. Like, he kept one Asian kid who was like a big sneakerhead, and he knew like every fucking sneaker that was coming
I
out.
forget his name. Was it the big Jewish dude?
He was big, Jewish, maybe Italian.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I remember. I forget his name. I think his company was like the Thova or some shit. I don't know.
Fuck him.
So wait, so he said that trying to be like inspirational?
No,
or?
no, he said that on the sense of like, hey, a lot of you guys are getting fired, and some of you guys are being demoted to the stock room, and
Oh.
I'm gonna hire a whole bunch of new people here,
Including my son, Ronnie Fag. I'm just kidding. His father started David Z, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or
Oh,
David.
it's the same owner.
I'm just
okay.
talking shit. Money.
But
I
yeah,
think-
he literally said he was straight to our face. He's like, yeah, I didn't. He's like, I'm kind of disappointed in my managers for hiring so many colorful people.
No.
Disappointed.
No,
huh?
he did not.
Mm-hmm. He said this in private meetings. There was a guy who put his hands up. He's like, this sounds kind of racist. Like, we're just all trying to work here and make money and like, make sales. And he's like, I understand. He's like, but if this upsets you, we can like go outside and have a talk about it.
Oh, I think you said we could go outside and shoot the
Yeah,
film.
no, but
No,
that's
that's what he was
what
trying
he
to
was
say.
trying to say.
Yeah.
That's what he was trying to say.
You can come outside and you can fight me for your
Yo,
paycheck.
Yo, that
You're
was
still getting fired at the end of it.
that was the night I decided to go back to college. That was the night where I'm like downstairs in the stock room and they're like trying to match sneakers that are on like there's a whole bunch of left Jordans. They're looking for
The
right
displays.
Jordans. And there's a guy's like, yeah, man, I wish I could go back and see my kids tonight. I'm like, how old are you? 17.
Yo, I worked with
Oh,
when I worked at the stockroom at American Apparel.
It's a sad place.
Yeah.
But honestly, that stockroom was way better
Yeah,
than
it was
the
lit.
stockroom
It
at
was
those
lit.
places.
Yo, it was kind of
Yeah.
easy.
No,
I
it
worked
was.
with a dude, black dude. I think his name was Chauncey, and he was just like the most bitter. Just like was still waiting for his reparations. And he was just like, he was like,
How old
damn.
is he?
Yo, I was working
At the
there when I
time.
was like maybe 17. He had to be mid-20s maybe, but he was just like one day he was folding shirts and he was just like, we went from picking cotton to folding cotton. It's fucked up.
That would have been a meme now. man.
All I remember from the thing about American Apparel was they were way more straightforward about like you're in the stock room and you're upstairs. Like if you were
Yeah.
chubby, you were downstairs. If you were real skinny, you went upstairs.
If
Like,
you were a bland white person or a beautiful white person
they had,
or a racially ambiguous,
yeah, racially ambiguous people all the
person,
time.
You worked
Yeah.
the floor.
you work the floor.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I worked at the NoHo store. I think that was my last destination with corporate, with the company. And
Corporate.
I will say I did get laid off of a girl on the floor, who worked the floor.
You got laid off.
You got
No,
the
no.
retail flex?
Well, I was laid off and fired, but I got laid as in had
God.
had the privilege of having sex with a girl who worked on the floor.
with a woman? With a real woman?
Yo, I think about her to this day. Unfortunately, I can't remember her name, but her ass was ridiculous.
Damn.
And I was such a cocky dick at the time that I like.
You thought you had it.
No, I hit it like once or twice and just like never spoke to her. So, I don't know, some shit.
I
You
mean,
ain't keep
you could use this platform
I don't
like
know.
if you're out there and you're
Nah,
still wondering.
Misconnections.
She like moved to Virginia and has like 2 kids. I'm
Oh,
sure,
yeah.
like some shit.
Yeah, you're fucked, buddy.
Yeah.
But it was.
You should have shot the club up.
I think I did
You know what?
at
You guys, can we talk about that?
Milton's apartment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was her.
Let's talk about this off the air because
Sorry.
I think I got something for you.
This is very irresponsible, and I will.
I remember
not,
her name now too.
I will not
So do I.
sit across the table While this
Should I say her
occurs,
name on
I
it?
have-
I mean,
no,
she's not listening, right?
no, don't
You-
do
no,
it.
don't do it.
Don't do it.
Okay,
It's a
alright.
Facebook search away,
Alright.
and then, yeah,
All right, anyway.
we're live on Instagram right
Give
now.
a shit no more, man.
The man
Just-
puts out one single with positive reviews, and now he doesn't give a shit about shooting up in the club and all this other crap.
I was shooting up the club
This
long
is
before
Terrible.
the single dropped.
Terrible. Terrible. Why do I have to be the voice of reason here? I don't understand.
Because you're
man.
on camera.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
you're
you'd be like, yeah, man, I might have a kid coming.
No. Fuck.
I remember you telling me that, John.
Fuck no.
It's like,
Yeah,
fuck.
when I was scared for my life.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
like, fuck, man, I don't think I have a choice. I'm going to have to shoot the club
My-
up.
No, I never said that.
Damn, man.
No, I would.
Shorty's coming.
It would
I
never.
don't think I have a choice. I'm going to have to
Mm,
fuck tonight.
It would never be pre-shot the club up. It would be post-shot the club up and be like, I'm
do you
stupid.
get bullied?
I'm an idiot.
Do you get bullied into having sex?
Bullied is not the term I would use.
Forced?
Forced sounds like I'm being raped. Think of more
uh,
words. You cannot-
Pressured?
Pressured sounds like I don't want to do it.
Well, how about you use a word? John?
Coerced.
Coerced, yeah. I can't say like when I'm in a position where it's like I'm obviously gonna say yes, but I'm trying to rely heavily on my morals.
What morals?
Yeah, and then that falls apart. See,
Yeah.
this is why that
Because
happens.
you have none.
Excuse me?
That's why they fall apart.
I have morals. It's
Yeah.
a little something called integrity, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah. You know what
Eh,
the meaning of integrity is?
I do.
What is it?
I don't know the textbook definition, but can you spit it?
Again.
What is
but
it?
I always find it funny to ask people the meaning of integrity. Because they're like, yeah, I know what the fuck the meaning of integrity is. I was like, what's
Spit
the
it.
meaning of integrity?
What is it?
Jason, I want you to take a shot at it. Do you
It's
know what the
just-
meaning of
It's
integrity
just
is?
like professional morality. It's like I self-respect versus doing.
Go ahead, John.
Just when somebody told me this, I was really like, integrity is doing the right thing
When no one's looking.
when no one's looking.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen thousands of memes with, like, it's
All
not,
right, yeah, all right.
it's out
We
there.
all follow Drake. I get it. Jesus. Can we talk about that actually?
What?
I think you brought that up recently. You're like, yo, I fucking hate it whenever somebody has a slight bit of success. All of a sudden, they just start to drop inspirational quotes.
Yeah, I hate that
Like
shit.
they fucking made it.
I
Like they're
hate
at the
that.
finish line, and you can too. Like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of bullshit.
I mean, the sentiment is pleasant where it's like they're trying to inspire greatness, and
But
I
it's
get
not.
that.
They're bragging.
But it's like, yeah, it's like also it's a brag, but it's also just like,
They're
yo,
like
nigga,
talking down on.
you're not fucking Rupi Kaur or whoever the fuck, like, because you know what I'm saying?
She's not inspiration.
Whatever, man. You're not Mahatma Gandhi, whatever the fuck. You ain't,
Mahandas?
yeah, you ain't
Muhammad
it.
Gandhi would not be on Instagram.
Not him, but the
Do you
the
think
i-
he would
the
or would it, though?
ideologies. Nah, he wouldn't.
No.
He'd have like a
He'd have
team.
someone. Yeah, no,
Like a
yeah,
team.
but he would have he would have a handle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can see
for
that.
He would have him. He
So
would have
would-
but he would have a team.
So would MLK. It wouldn't
You
be
think so?
them.
I think
They'd
he'd
have a team. Yeah,
Yeah.
like a foundation or something.
Somebody told me recently that Frida Kahlo would be the worst bitch on Instagram apparently, because all she did was like draw photos of herself and like
Oh, true.
Yo,
what's
I
more.
I
can see
don't know what the big deal is with free like the shit at Brooklyn Museum, and then people they go to the house in Mexico City. I went there.
I was there,
I
it was
had no
closed.
interest.
I'm gonna claim ignorance on this one, and I don't know either. I think it might have to do with a time in Mexico where women were to be this is
Oppressed.
just you know.
Yeah.
She was rebellious and she was open with her
It's
sexuality.
like listen but don't talk back. You know, you've seen but not heard. Kind
Oh.
of.
She was
like,
mouthy.
Kind of
I'm gonna
environment.
put a question out there though, and this is not a sexist question. This pertains to anyone. Do you think, had she not had a unibrow, she would have popped the way she did?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
If she didn't have a unibrow, would she be as good looking?
As no, it's
Just
would she have
relevant.
popped?
As I mean, it's a characteristic. I see that in the art. Like, it's a nice.
It helped.
Yeah.
It's a.
I see that. I
it's a
feel that way
defining
about
feature.
everyone, honestly. Like every
But everybody's got a
every
defining feature.
characteristic that you possess has taken you
Is a contributant to
where you are.
Yeah, contributant.
Sure.
That's a real word, right?
contributant.
It's a contributor to your success.
Yeah.
Contribution. But
A
contributor
contributor.
is a word as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
But no, I do see where you're coming from. I was all museums are closed in Mexico City on a Monday, and that's when I finally had the time to go there, and it was closed. It seemed really nice from the outside. I didn't go in, and a couple of people were like, "You should have gone in on a Tuesday."
What was the highlight of your trip in Mexico
highlight
City
of my trip-
recently for your alternative best friend's wedding?
I mean, you guys are gonna laugh, and it's kind of fucked up that I say this after. Like, I went to a lucha show. I went to like a lucha libre show. Front seat tickets were like $15.
That's cool.
We got fucking micheladas like this big. Bought fucking luchador masks.
Did you bring it back?
Caught a luchador. Yeah, I brought like 3 back.
Okay.
I almost caught a luchador. We got out of the cab. The second we got out of the cab, we just like went right up to the. It's so easy. I would recommend it to anybody who goes to Mexico City. Just get drunk and go to a lucha libre show on a Sunday afternoon. There's nothing else going on. They don't do as much as it looks like they do brunch in Mexico City. Don't do fucking brunch. That's a New York thing or
I went. I did.
thing. That's trying to be imposed on the culture. Like, Sundays in Mexico City are all about doing nothing. Maybe you go shop. Maybe you just like walk around to the park and do but you don't do shit on Sunday.
Maybe you get some churros.
Yeah. Oh, that's the place you told me about the churros was. I didn't want to getting the time to go there, but.
Oh really? Damn.
No, it was
fucked up.
It was far and away.
They were delicious.
It was, but not the lucha show. I don't know, man. There was a lot of shit about Mexico City that I really liked. It was safe. That was the surprising part about it.
You know what's crazy about that? The complete opposite was my experience.
You didn't feel safe at all.
No, I mean, I grew up in unsafe neighborhoods.
It looks like the unsafe neighborhood you grew up in.
But I also felt that way because when I was pulling up to the Airbnb from the airport, we hit a strip like maybe 3 blocks away, strip full of prosties, straight up, belly, platform clear, heels, like leaning into the cars, and I was like, yo, that's lit. I've never seen that. So I was just
out
like,
in the open,
yeah, I'd be like, oh shit, like I kind of wanted to peep it
the red
again.
light district, probably, for all you know.
And I was out. We were out one night.
You stayed in Roma, right?
Roma and then somewhere else. I can't remember where. But one night we went out. We were like on our way back from a bar. I was like, yeah, let's take a stroll back to the Airbnb. See some Americans like clowning on the corner, like these 2 white dudes. They're like, hey guys, where you from? Oh yeah, I'm from Cali too. Whatever. 5 seconds later, cop car pulls a Yui. Cop comes out, AK-47 drawn, chasing them.
The white men.
I was just like, yo, this is Mexico.
I mean, whenever you're in a Latin American country, I feel like you have that kind of like anything could pop off at any second.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I don't know. I mean, I was walking around at 2 a.m. in the morning, empty ass streets, and it's like I didn't feel.
Yeah. Maybe you're just, I don't know.
Weren't you hanging out with locals though?
No, I was hanging out with other transplants that were there. Like, I guess expats is what you can call them, I guess. But at the same time, like, you know what it is? It's easy for me to say because I'm like a Hispanic male in Mexico, so it's different. If you're a lady and you're walking in the middle of the night, it could be a different story. So
yeah.
It could be a completely different.
I didn't feel like I was gonna get like abducted.
No.
But I was with women, and that always heightens my
awareness.
my anxiety and awareness.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a
because you kind of feel like
foreign.
you're gonna throw down.
Yeah, I haven't been to a foreign country yet, other than Hong Kong, where I did not feel that anxiety.
It's a common thing. I don't know, man, because I've been in places with like. I've been in places in Latin America, and Latin American men are, just like Latin American men in New York, really. If you catch the right kind of men, they'll be respectful. If you catch the wrong type of men, they'll be like, "Hey, mommy, what's up?" Like, it's all over. It's a universal thing, and they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck if you're a 7 foot tall white man. Honestly, they're very afraid of black men. I know that. So like that's probably
Jay, you should do some more traveling.
Probably the only thing.
Go figure. Someone's scared of the black man.
It's probably the only person who could walk around and like no one will fuck with them is a black guy in Mexico, in a Latin American country.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, because of racism.
I know. I'm aware.
Cause racism.
Because racism.
Cause. Well, on a lighter note, you you both when were you in Mexico City?
What?
When were you when were
When?
you there? Yeah.
Over New Year's.
Oh, and you were just there.
At
What,
the
in
end
March?
of February, beginning of March.
Yeah, March,
Yeah.
yeah. I haven't gone anywhere in a very long time, so
Have you
I'm living vicariously through your travels.
Have you traveled internationally anywhere recently?
No,
When was the last place you traveled internationally?
Spain
Oh, when you were in that field trip.
in junior high school. Yeah.
You would be appreciated.
Oh, I know.
I say this, you would be appreciated
Oh, I
in
know.
certain cities in, honestly, Mexico City. But like, if you were to go to Amsterdam, I know Dice is
Yeah.
always praising Amsterdam.
Who?
You'd be
I know
extra.
Dice is always praising.
I don't know who that is.
I'm sorry.
You'd be extra good in Amsterdam.
I've heard. Actually, speaking of which,
Netherlands, like
Yeah. no, I mean I'm eager to see those those places and as an adult, and I know just even like the nightlife and the music scenes are crazy there, and I'm definitely very intrigued by them.
I think I've been telling you for a very long time. As a DJ, you should look
Yeah.
into it.
I've already planted seeds where I've spoken to other DJs that I've booked
Mhm.
from other countries to come here about if and when I'm ready, would they show the same love? And so like I have a little itinerary I've been like quietly planning. It's just a matter of the money and the actual booking.
The time of the year too.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you go there during like Queens, I think there's this thing called Queen's Day. I don't know if it's Queen's Day anymore. I think they changed it like maybe 2 years ago. But like, just everyone's out. It's like their 4th of July. Like, and everyone's out
I
popping
believe it.
fireworks, partying.
in the Netherlands.
And then in Amsterdam
In Amsterdam
specifically,
specifically.
but in the Netherlands, it's a big thing.
No, but I believe that, especially with the song I just dropped, Distractions. Shout out to you, girl. The online press that I received to premiere the song and the video were both international. Boiler,
Days? No,
No.
Boiler Room.
Boiler Room's new video platform
4-3.
called 4-3 premiered the video for Distractions.
How did that come about, by the way? If you could explain to us.
Just me digging around on the internet like always. I'm just always looking for everything: publications, writers, music contributors.
But you go back with Boiler Room. I feel like you did like an anniversary party there a little while
I
back.
hosted Boiler Room's 5-year anniversary here in New York. Yes, a few years ago at Good Room, and I also helped them secure the very first New York event. I don't even know what year that was, but their very first New York event ever. I helped them book the venue through the owner, who was a friend of mine, at an open house on Houston.
I remember that.
Downstairs with that secret room with the Red Bull door and all. Yeah,
I love that door.
I love it too.
It seems like just like it goes from a Red Bull vending machine to like a box of like what is it, like a stack of boxes of like random beers.
Well, the beers are
Same,
stacked near it, and then
Yeah,
when you
there's
open
a wall,
when you open the door, it leads to like that. I love that room. He hates using the room, but
I don't
the
get
owner.
it.
Really?
Why? Like,
From what he said, there's always like complaints or like the room doesn't make enough money.
Or a murder.
No, no murder. It's only worth it for him if it's like packed out. Yeah, I was just digging on the internet and I saw Boiler Room started 4-3 maybe a couple months ago. I found their page. Then I found the curators. One of the curators started following me. So when I was like trying to figure out the rollout and the publicity, I DM'd him, and he showed love. He was like, "Yo, we got you." So that was a blessing. And they recently premiered Brooke Candy's music video, and they're doing this whole event with Brooke Candy out in somewhere in the UK. I can't remember right now, but I'm a big fan of hers too. So that was like a cool little connection, since they're all about like weird art, not safe for work visuals and experimental shit. And
you always have naked bitches in your videos.
Speaking of not safe for work visuals,
have to.
You didn't label it not safe for work.
I did.
I feel like there's some platforms where you missed that.
No, we did, because actually when they were posting the video, they're like, "Yo, we can't post your full video on our Facebook page because of restrictions."
Yeah.
So they posted one of the gifs I made instead, and still labeled it not safe for work.
What has been your reaction? What's been the feedback to the music video? What's so much,
Everyone loves it, which is dope. Shout out to New Things Creative, currently known as Motorbike, Edwin and Ricky.
He already changed his name?
They rebranded like a month ago,
Hmm.
so that they go by Motorbike now.
One
instead
word.
Of, yeah, instead of New Things, which is I do like the name. I just didn't know they were changing the name. But shout out to them. They directed the video off the strength of Hoop Nose Ring. Actually, when they saw that like a year or so ago, they were like so in awe of it. And they're like, "Yo, we gotta direct a video for you." So I played them Distractions. They love that. Made it happen. The guy Tony Arsler, who shows so much love, let us shoot the video in his 4-story townhouse / studio in LES for free, which was amazing. Because having a space to shoot a video, that's like half,
That's a half
2/3 the battle. Like
Yeah.
that was a blessing. Brooke came through. The funny thing is too, it's like I'm glad you asked. Casting wise,
Mhm.
I always wanted Brooke in the video, but I tried to get numerous girls in the video, and they all flaked except for Brooke.
How do you explain to me? Because you've had
How does the pitch
success.
go?
Yeah. I want to hear the pitch.
The pitch.
Because you've had success getting bitches naked on your videos, and I really want to hear. Pretend we're joints.
Sure.
Pretend we're
Please-
prospective
please don't
talent.
pretend I'm a
I want to
joint.
hear
A
the
handsome
pitch.
joint.
Don't look me in the eyes when you do this.
I want to hear the pitch.
Well, I'll say this: to start, what makes it easier is the pitch usually isn't in person. It's via email or text, which I think takes away a lot of the pressure. I never come at them sideways. I never come at them crazy. It's like the same way I go to a venue or anyone where I do business with. I have a deck. I have a PDF ready to go to let them know, like, yo, I'm professional. I'm experienced. I've done this before. I have taste. It's a safe space. Like, it's art. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be fun, as well as beneficial. You know, just on a aesthetic or career level for you and for me. So it's never anything as crude as people might.
But how
think.
does it? Let's cut to the chase. How do you bring the nudity up
Got you.
in your pitch?
I say, ideally, we'd like to shoot tasteful nude shots with whatever you're comfortable with, and it doesn't mean we're going to use it. But if you're open to being nude or doing something, you know, adventurous, or in that case, where it's something sexy and provocative clothing, I'd love to shoot that. And with your permission, you know what I'm saying, we'll show you what we put out before it goes public. Like, we won't just like throw it out and you won't know. Like, you'll get approval. That makes them feel good.
Because I
too.
remember you telling me Brooke has to like the video.
Yeah,
first
well,
of all.
Brooke, I'll say this: Brooke was smart in the sense where she was like, well, smart and also just like, you know, anxious. Where she was just like, I'm not signing the model release form until I see the video, and then if I approve the video,
smart.
then I'll sign the model release form. I was like,
Yeah.
touche. Because Edwin was he's like, yo, get her to sign the model release. I'm like, yes, whatever, it's all good. Like, because for me, I'm all about the vibe. Because it's like anyone who I've gotten in my videos is always somebody I know. So that relieves a lot of it too.
It does seem like every single, even the Hoop Nose Ring video, everyone who's shown some skin on your videos has been more than happy to do so.
Exactly. These are
And that's where I think Leonel's question comes. Is like, how do you pitch it? In
well,
a
it's
way
because
that
these
they're
again.
so like, you know what?
Well, you know,
They
it's
take more pride in it than you do.
sure, and it's also the fact that I'm not gonna go to a girl who I know is like a fucking hermit and like shy and like,
Yeah.
and there's no problem with a shy girl. That's great, but like for this, you know, to be on camera first of all, even in your clothes, and be comfortable in that personality and shine. That's number one. Then number two, it's just a girl who's provocative in her nature anyway, who doesn't mind showing skin, who doesn't mind, you know, rocking like that, and can perform comfortably. So, and I'm saying, Brooke, it was funny because Brooke was like she wasn't apprehensive to be in my video, so to say, or be nude in my video. I think she was apprehensive because she's only done photography work, and this is her first time doing a music video. And I think she was just like, yeah, you know, like I already get so much hate and flack for my photos. I'm just nervous that like it's gonna like, you know, quadruple. And I'm like, yo, if anything, that's good. And second of all, I'm honored that I'm the first one that you're working with in this capacity, because it's gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? It's not just gonna be like anyone could take a photo. Not everyone can shoot a fucking music video.
Yeah.
And have a good song and it be quality and media, you know, support it. So it's like, I always assure people that too. It's like, yo, like, I'm not Drake, but like, the push behind it. The rollout will be proper.
No, I second that.
You know-
Video is
you know what I'm
very, very, very meticulous and a lot of work goes into video.
Exactly. Yeah, and as you know, it's like even you came in. I can't remember when me and Treats and Christian were labeling you, but we were making like sports references in terms of how you cleaned up the video at the last minute, like on the tech side, editing wise, which is why I gave you that assistant editor credit like right at the last minute, because that's the thing. The process, it's like shooting something a year ago, and then waiting for it to be cut, and then the first cut not being perfect, and then going back and like, yo, can you change this? Can you change that? Can you change this? Can you change that? Then the model release, like it's crazy. And like I said, like I asked, I'm not gonna name their names because they disappointed the shit out of me, but like one or two other girls I had casted in the video for different scenes, and they were like, yeah, but we'll be there. Like literally didn't answer me the day of.
Let's talk about that off the air.
Yeah, sure. And that happens all the time. Again, I wasn't paying a lot. I was paying what I could. Like we reached a number, and I was like, all right, I could do that. But then they still didn't show up, and only Brooke showed up. But I think it was for the better. I think
what's best with one.
Yeah. What people liked about the video is they were like, yo, you two look like it looks authentic. Like it doesn't look forced. It doesn't look like she was hired to be there. You know what I'm saying? So like,
it would have been too much if it was more than one girl.
Yeah. Well, that's me. Like I'm stupid like that. You know? I'm greedy, and so I like to overdo it and then trickle down and trim the fat later. But yes, in this instance, it worked that me and my muse for this video happens to be a homegirl, and we happen to get along. So it's like the chemistry and the dynamic.
I don't know if Brooke did it purposely, but she has these really piercing looks in the video where like you're like, but she's trouble.
Yo, it's funny.
I'm pretty sure like a lot of people came up to you and said that.
When I first showed Alex Papa the video, we were eating, and she was like, yo, this bitch looks crazy, but in a good way. And I was like, yes.
I haven't watched it yet.
I was like, I'm glad she said that, because I love Brooke. Yeah, she has a vibe. And I think, again, I'm not, I think I'm really good at reading people, and I think I'm really good at, when I do collaborate with people, kind of like, especially in that sense, kind of like showcasing what it is.
You'd make a good casting director.
Exactly. What it is I value in them and what makes them special. And that goes into whom I'm casting as well. Because I feel like, I might have unorthodox tastes, whether it be in people or in whatever, you know what I'm saying, in music, whatever the fuck. So I think when it comes to the context and the display of how you're showing, this is why I want to be associated with this person, this entity, this brand, that's what's the selling point. So it's kind of like when the song dropped, I think a lot of people were like, okay, cool. Like, all right, he's coming back. He's doing his thing. When they saw the video, they were like, yo, I get it now. When I played the song for Saint, he was like, yo, it's a good song, but it's very visual. He's like, you need to drop the video first. That's what he said. And I was like, I would have loved to do that had you told me that, like months ago. But we didn't happen to speak until like the last minute.
But you gave me guidance earlier.
Yeah.
When I
not his fault, whatever.
Asked you for it.
But I just had, I had things already in motion, and I wanted, the selfish musician part of me wanted people to sit with the song first, however they felt about it, whether they liked it or didn't like it. So I want you to sit with the song and then see the visual, and I feel like I've been getting that feedback where like they're like, yo.
Favorite video of yours so far?
Shit. I mean, it's weird. That's a tough one. I have only like 5 to pick from, 4 or something like that. Maybe. Shit.
If you gotta think about it like that, it's probably is.
Maybe, because again, I guess that was the first time I did certain things one-on-one with a video vixen in that regard. You get what I'm saying?
Intimacy.
Yes.
I
think this
favorite video to shoot by far.
Yes, I think the intimacy factor that was
figures
that was portrayed in the Distractions video.
I think it's safe to say you were building the portfolio to be able to shoot this video.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think
with the flex.
Sure.
Like, I've had several music videos. feel comfortable being naked in this one.
Well, again, that goes into the pitch for the next one. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm about to drop another one next week or so, and
which one's that one?
For Dirty Blonde, look out. And even for that,
look out.
Yeah, all platforms.
443. or maybe.
We'll see. I don't want to. We'll see.
I
Um,
didn't get the reference.
we're talking to some heads.
4.3 is the Boiler Room video platform.
Oh.
The
Come on,
interesting thing about that is the casting wise, it was a very personal.
What are you talking about? Which one?
The Dirty Blonde
Dirty
music
Blonde,
video. Like that was
Oh, I forgot.
interesting
You
for me
have-
too.
Yeah, people in this video, you probably.
That was interesting for me too because it's very rare to to have a muse and then to be able to work with them and create something based off of them, whoever the muse is,
Uh-huh.
and then also be able to have them collaborate with you. I think is like it's like any artist dream, but visual artist or whatever.
It's funny that you mentioned. Oh, I'll let you finish.
No, that's really.
I was gonna say how you're like, oh, to have a muse is kind of like an artist's dream. It's one of those things that are easier said than done. I feel like a lot of people ideally would love to have a muse, but muses aren't all positive.
Of course not.
No.
I
No,
would
of
say 75% of muses are negative and a hell to
That's-
work through.
No,
Wait,
I
so
agree.
wait, let's be very clear on what we're calling muse. Someone that inspires you to make art.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So you could have.
Not necessarily someone that you work with.
No. I'm saying
That's like
That's
another.
that's the double.
because
Exactly.
there are actual like even if you go back to like the days where like rock bands used to tour, they'd have girls on tour who are like, yeah, I'm the muse. Like
Yeah.
they would literally proclaim themselves as that. Either they were told
They might have been.
they were either they were told falsely or they really were. But at the same time, like that's a very
Dirty Dianas.
I don't even want to say positive. I want to say like a very like sprinkled, very like appealing form of muse. But like sometimes you look at like a movie like Vicky Cristina Barcelona or something like that, right? And like the dude was talking about how Penelope Cruz was his muse. It must have been hell living with this woman who you didn't know was gonna shoot you or stab you or love you like one day from one day
Yeah.
to the other. It's I would say more than half of the time, somewhere between 2/3 and a half of the time, if you have a muse, you're being tortured while you're doing it. Of course, you're
I think
pumping
that's
amazing art.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say I think personally and on the creative side, that's the attraction because
Right, when you're on the outside looking in,
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
oh my god, this is
you
my
got
man.
you got to be responsible
this,
with
that.
yourself enough to be like, you know what, sometimes this is just the art versus reality.
Yeah.
And you got to be able to.
But that's easier to say in
No,
hindsight.
it's a challenge to separate, as people reference it all the time. To separate the art from real life or the art from the artist. And when you're the artist, from that perspective, that direct perspective of like, addressing your muse or dealing with your muse, collaborating with your muse, whatever, and trying to get the best work out of that or the best relationship out of that. It definitely can be a challenge, and that's kind of like, I will say I have prided myself on being able to continuously make my life my art or my art my life. Like that's always been my thing. It's just like I want to just make it as authentic as possible, and it is challenging because not everyone shares the vision, or not everyone. There's the budget, the
Well,
money's
it's
not there.
challenging to
Whatever.
even keep a trajectory going.
Exactly.
Because sometimes when you're with your muse, it could be post muse that you make your work.
Exactly.
Because while you're with your muse, you don't really want to do anything else other than sit at home, watch Netflix, and have sex all day. Like it doesn't really. Things don't work out in
But
the order that you think.
Sure,
ideally
no,
they're
you
going
don't.
to.
I mean, so many things here. One,
So many things. To do.
one, you never.
You never even know you're in it when you're in it. to be
Or
honest.
you may not have the chance to know this person, ever. Really.
True.
Yes, that's a factor too.
You-
Sometimes your muse is someone you're not.
Yeah. You can't touch.
Yeah.
You're not next to ever.
Which is
Um.
sometimes a part of the appeal too.
Yeah. Which drives the
Because
the,
they're infallible.
Yeah.
the
It's-
angst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unattainable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also, like, I don't know how many people have muses that they are sexual with and intimate with. Like, I feel like it's probably
a romanticized thing.
that's the-
amongst
Yeah,
artists.
That's the cherry the
Yeah.
cherry on top.
But
It's
is
definitely
it
a
though?
romanticized
But
thing.
is it though? I feel like the danger in that is it gets lost. Once
True.
you have it, you're just like, I have it, and I'm no longer as driven
For
or
sure.
or as inspired.
It's
To be honest
possible.
with you, I've seen a lot of correlation in being driven as to when that certain person brings conflict into your life.
Yeah. No, that's possible. That's
Like-
what's good.
No, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say I feel like I've experienced all sides and every facet of that, where it's like there was a delusional point where it's just like I deserve to be with my muse. Like, I'm not fulfilling my destiny if my muse is not by my. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Have you ever? I know the answer to this, but have you ever gotten your muse in the way that you
That's what I was gonna
that
get
you've
to.
wanted her?
I was gonna be like, I've gotten exactly what I wanted, and I'd be like, this is okay.
well,
And
considering
no inspiration.
considering there have been a variety of muses in my life, yes and no, and the yeses and the nos bring out different sides of my creative output.
You ever been disappointed?
Have I ever-
every single
Time.
I feel like that's honestly, I feel like that's the equation to it.
disappointed once you have
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been moments. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
yeah.
There's been very few instances, honestly, and I think this is a very it's a skill to make authentic happy music.
Yeah.
Authentic, happy
Authentic,
music.
Like find your
Who
muse,
makes
marry your muse, make
authentic,
amazing
happy
songs.
music?
I mean, I can only think of old examples of it. I can think of like Paul McCartney.
Fleetwood Mac.
I can think of like Fleetwood Mac had that whole
Yeah, that was like
turbulence of turmoil.
That was like
but that's like
they were
one of
all
their best
having
albums.
sex with each other.
I don't
know
know
if you knew.
I don't know their history.
So
They were all fucking
They
each
have
other.
this album called Rumors, and that entire album
It's
is
all about them.
based off songs. All of them wrote about each other,
Yeah.
like sleeping with each other. Like
They were all sleeping with Shorty.
no, not one shorty.
It was like rotating.
Very-
What is that? What is the makeup of their band? Like,
Two
is it-
males,
it's
two
4 of 'em.
females. It's 2 males, 2 females.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 2 males and 1 female, and there's like a silent.
They're
there's
they're
another female that's not in the band, but like
Yeah.
just as much as.
they're like the biggest example of that
Yeah.
actually. That
And
are
they-
still relevant and touring to this day.
And the music is timeless.
And the music is timeless.
It's fucking timeless.
Yes.
Like that's out of great conflict comes
Yeah.
amazing art.
Yeah.
And like I used to be a very big firm believer that without angst there is no art. But there's very very few people who come along and make
Things.
something out of positivity. Because I feel like
Bob. Oh no.
Bob Marley. I
No,
mean, but
but
it also
that-
came
that
from
would-
conflict.
yeah,
it also came from
conflict
looking
and
on the
struggle
bright
and-
side of
Yeah, yeah,
struggle.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's got to be some sort of struggle, some sort of thing. That's why I'm like, if you get handed everything,
Is any-
if I ever come across an artist who's like
Yeah.
really early in their youth and they just haven't been heartbroken with, like haven't like just
You haven't
experienced-
gone through nothing.
what are you gonna write about? That's why when like Michael Jackson sang as a child, I was like, where is this coming from?
Because my man was getting
Because his
beat.
dad beat him up.
At the crib.
Beatings.
But yeah, everything
not
has
singing.
everything has a balance. I feel.
Yeah.
It takes a
Yeah,
very
yeah.
specific skill to be like. Even James Blake recently came out with like
Yeah.
his
He's
recent
happy
album
now
has
and
been
it's
so,
whatever.
but it's because it was such a contrast to what
Yeah.
it was before.
It's funny too. Charlie XCX, I remember one time said, she's like, "Yo, it's a skill to write party music, like pop party music." She's like, "People don't realize this, but that's actually harder than the normal moodiness that most people kind of like go through." She's like,
Because it's forced.
Yeah, well, it's forced, but it's like to think about it, to make quality party, positive music in that landscape of pop.
Oh, positive.
Yeah. Like she was like, she welcomes that challenge. Like that's her lane basically, and she enjoys doing that. And I was like, damn, that is an interesting perspective. Because I think we write off pop or bubbly, bright shit a lot. We're like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But she was like,
I
No,
love
it's
an
hard.
honest,
It's
happy
not
song.
easy to
yeah,
write.
that's what I'm
pop
saying. She was
music.
just saying like, people think it's easy. It's not easy to write this. It's like you gotta construct it in a very, in a very certain way.
Every artist probably has one genuinely happy song that they really were into that they made because they were in it. Think about the way Pharrell cried when Oprah
Yeah.
was expressing to him how much joy his song "Happy" brought to like other people. Like he burst into tears.
Yeah.
Like it's a big.
Do you think he was happy, or do you think he just made a pop song?
that song probably came from a point in his life where he realized how far he came, and all the shit that he went through, and then
And it was
it wasn't that he was knowingly doing it; it was just he was expressing
Mhm.
it. And I think at that moment where she brought him to the realization that his positivity brought positivity to other people,
Mhm.
it was such a genuine back and forth, which is
Yeah.
very rare, to be honest. It was such a genuine that he was just overcome with emotion.
I think also it was because she brought up his grandmother who
Yeah. Who had
passed away,
Yeah.
and she was like, "Would your grandmother be proud of you?" And he like broke down.
Think about it. It's
Yeah,
like
of course,
it's
of course
almost
you
like
asked that
Yeah,
question.
it's Oprah. I mean.
It's Oprah. If you don't cry in front of Oprah, did you really talk to Oprah? Like, it's one of those things where, I mean, yeah, that's got to be like a milestone. It's got to feel like you're at a point in your life where you have to realize how much you must have to fake the funk in order to be a profitable artist in any industry. It's a lot of saying yes. For every time you say yes, you say no. For every time you do one thing for you, you have to do something for somebody else. Like it just comes with, unless you just happen to stumble upon money and be really lucky to be able to create what you want to do. A lot of it is checks and balances, and a lot of it is compromising. So when you
To be a successful artist. you mean.
yes, to be a profitable,
Yeah.
with money in your bank account, and if you get to a point where you can create something that was genuinely pure and made such a positive impact, like that's a win. That's like one of the biggest wins. You know what I mean? That's like a championship ring in a sense, because it's really hard to find that balance with anybody, with anything when it comes between art and commerce. Because, like I said, I feel like a lot of the time when, especially nowadays, I want to stop using that word, but
What word?
nowadays, you do realize you do have to sell a little bit of yourself in order to sell merch
Some people do it. Some people don't,
at all.
and are still
A little bit. I'm not talking about like everything. Who can you think of that doesn't sell themselves at all?
Wait,
Pusha T comes to mind.
doesn't sell themselves? What do you mean?
Who's
Sell out, you mean?
uncompromising, unbendable when it comes to who they are, their character, their structure, the way they make their music. Like, I'm not gonna make something for top 40. I'm not gonna bend this way. I'm gonna make music my way and be underappreciated
But
until
also
you
be successful.
appreciate me and make money.
I want to say, for some reason, Pusha T comes to my
He's
my,
in
my
that
brain.
category.
I wouldn't put him in that category.
You would not.
No.
Why?
Because he hasn't done. Honestly, I think him having a feud with Drake is a little bit of selling out, and that's where his shining. That's where his most.
But that's the public's perception. That wasn't like
Yeah, that's
his-
been bubbling for so long
Yeah.
that it just came to
He
to
was
like
making
a,
money off of that. He was enjoying it because he was.
Yeah, but-
It was a compromise between him writing raps.
I don't think it's a compromise. I think it was a win-win. It was him
Mhm.
competing
Mm-hmm.
and profiting off of it.
Off of. You
which
think it's
is
something that he
the
always
basis
wanted
of rap
to do.
in general.
He always wanted to make. Kind of like.
I think
I'm
I
gonna
think
get at you.
I think it just he got a piece of information and it was just like, this is it. This is it. Like it's been bubbling for years.
And
Like, you've been
didn't
getting at me for
Drake
years.
take like a jab that made him be like, "Oh word"? Yeah.
Something about it just. I mean, me personally, if I was like my greatest if my most biggest known accomplishment in music is getting at somebody else,
That's
is
I don't.
not a song that I came.
But
out on
that's
my own.
your that's
Yeah, that's
my
your
opinion. That is my
opinion.
opinion.
I think
So, in his own opinion, he could be like, yeah, the rest of my catalog has been fire. People just don't know.
I
it.
think his biggest
That's a good jab at
accomplishment was
somebody else.
the last EP
I think his,
that happened to coincide with the Drake
But
diss.
that all came together. That was
Yeah,
one-
that-
one
but that's what I'm saying.
collaboration. Yeah.
Yeah.
there's nothing bigger than grinding. There's nothing better that either of them can do or together. If Malice ever comes back, that is bigger, more impactful, more important than grinding.
What year was that?
High school, right?
Yeah,
01?
high school for sure.
Like 01-ish.
I do really feel
Which
like he hasn't really come out with.
his,
I mean,
his
no, they've
last
had-
EP. That was
His last
highlight.
EP's good. They came out with a lot of fire shit since
Rap
then.
is- it's so weird to me because rap is so subjective in a sense where like to different people comes different types of success. We'll say this.
Hence, you saying to you his biggest.
That's what I'm saying.
Career
That's
move
what I'm
was
saying. It's
the
so
Drake
weird to me.
diss.
Yeah, it's so weird to me. Like if you look at a guy like you look at a guy like Nas,
Mhm.
right? there are still some people who want him to play, like, who want him to rap Ether at his concerts. And he's like, I can't do that because I work for the dude I just don't.
And they're friends now.
Yeah, right.
so-
They're friends now and all that other stuff. And it's like but it brings me to the conversation of like, there's, and I don't want to call them stands, but I have like, people have different thresholds and barometers for what success is. I told you, there's a dude from Queens who I always have this argument with. He thinks, and no offense to Styles P,
That Styles P is the greatest.
I've met him and he's a wonderful human being. But he'd be like, yo, Styles P is the greatest rapper that ever lived. With a straight face.
Styles P is dope.
He's like, no, shut the fuck up. Styles P is the greatest rapper
Styles
that
P's-
ever lived.
He's good.
My
And-
favorite song by him is Holiday, featuring Jadakiss.
And it's one of those
On
things.
Rough Riders 3, I
That's
think.
a
Oh, wait.
Holiday. I gotta make it to heaven for going through hell.
But see, like, to this dude who said
Hard.
that must be the greatest song ever.
Hard.
The most
Nah,
amazing song.
end.
ever.
Nah, a real nigga like that whose favorite rapper is Styles P knows some like
Oh.
deep mixtape cut
He knows the.
that never made the album. That's
He
his
knows
favorite song.
like the Bobito freestyle.
Or
like, that came out, like,
someone
a long
who
time
who
ago.
thinks that Styles P is the greatest rapper that ever lived probably hasn't listened to anything in 20 years.
Still wears Timbs and.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with Tim's.
Averex
Come on.
jacket
Don't
and-
downgrade the whole culture.
Do-rags.
I'm talking about like
Do-rags, headbands, and a fitted.
it looks like it's
At
chilling
once.
in a '90s Queensbridge
Yeah.
or.
Come on, don't diss the items, the pieces. It's
Alright,
how you
fine.
put that together real nice still. You know what I'm saying?
Real nice.
No. Do-rag just made a major comeback.
I
don't know.
Not for us, but for those that wear them and want to wear them in public.
There's
It's
some people
acceptable
who shouldn't be
now.
wearing.
I
don't agree
I
with
would have to
this.
disagree.
Really?
In-
Do-rags
in-
didn't make a comeback?
I saw Rosalita wearing a fucking do-rag, and that shit made me
in
sick.
like the alternative realm.
Yeah.
Let me come to work with a do-rag
Yeah, no,
and
that.
see if it was accepted well.
I'm not saying at
I
work.
don't know.
It's become acceptable in terms of being like a fashionable accessory in the alt art world.
You know
That's
what?
I'm saying.
But that doesn't matter.
I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna put my
'Cause
foot
that's
down.
not the real world.
I'm gonna put my fucking foot down on this. Do you want to know
Put
why?
your fucking foot down, Johan.
Do you want to know why? Because people still don't get led into places with do-rags on. Black men who are trying to get waves.
To be honest, as they shouldn't.
Well,
They should not know.
so
You should be
Wait,
decent
what's
enough to
your, wait,
if you're gonna-
remove.
what's your point?
if you're gonna keep that, then you shouldn't make it a trendy art thing for like a white girl to come in and a do-rag like completes
that's-
her outfit and she
Well,
gets
that's the
to be
white girl's
led-
problem.
led
Not,
into.
Where are
well,
you
like
Not
seeing
the
white
black-
joints wearing do
yeah, I haven't seen that either.
I've seen about 3 music videos in the past thing. I was
Oh,
just telling them
music-
about like.
music,
But the
come
thing
on.
is, if you see it in a new music video, it's only a matter of time before somebody decides to be like, "Hey,
True,
this
but
is
then
them showing up."
whatever non-black male that is retarded, or non-black lesbian that is retarded.
Wait,
I
so
just what I don't appreciate is an item that people look at as extremely hood, all of a sudden being converted to
fashion.
fashionably acceptable,
Mm.
but still the people who wear it for the whatever reasons they were wearing it before still aren't accepted, and it's just like. You know what I mean? Like it's like the dude Lil Nas X, whatever the hell it is. Like you want to appropriate.
Is
you
that
want
the
to
country dude?
yeah, the country
Okay.
dude. It's like you want to appropriate an aspect of it only when it suits your needs, but you don't want to just
You don't wanna
completely
let
make it
'em in.
all acceptable.
I mean, this is never gonna change.
Of course not. But that doesn't mean I can't put my foot down and be like, "Fuck you, I don't like it."
Yeah, sure. I mean, you're gonna have to cancel a lot of things.
I don't cancel anything.
Oh,
Too
so then
much.
you're not.
I don't
putting your
really
foot
spend money on much things either. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it's just like I'd be a hypocrite. You know what I mean? Like I don't.
down. Yeah.
It gives,
I'm-
it gives me an uneasy feeling
Yeah.
to be like, I support this, even though it's the same thing as the other thing, and I was really against that.
I don't. I support people putting their best foot forward,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like if you want to be respected,
Mm-hmm.
it's a matter of life that if you come through looking a certain way and you are of a certain skin tone, it's all going to be factored in, and you're gonna get shat on.
But
Hence-
when does it become victim blaming?
Victim blaming?
Yeah.
So someone put it to me this way.
I mean, I've been in that
Oh, or
situation
maybe it
before
was
too.
maybe it was a Chris Rock comedy special or some
Mhm.
shit. I don't know. But he was just like, look, if I drive to work every day and take the same exact route,
Mhm.
and there's a big ass pothole in the street,
Mhm.
and I keep driving over that pothole,
Mhm.
can I blame the pothole, Or am I? It's just
Right.
like it,
Right.
like you got.
I get that aspect of it, but when it becomes I'm saying that now that it becomes an acceptable and like fashionably artsy thing to do, and things actually change, and said pothole is being made, it's being fixed.
But this is, you need to be
but
aware.
you still can't go over that pothole.
You need to be realistic and be aware of where you should be feeling comfortable wearing. Can I go to China Chalet with a do-rag on? For sure. Can I go to fucking?
Oh well, yeah. I'm thinking of
Pulqueria with a do-rag on.
That's
no.
what I was thinking of originally.
Like you can. It's people stick to their communities, and that's why people do weird shit in Brooklyn, because it's accepted and it's encouraged.
And I mean it also is. I guess it's looking.
And by weird shit, I mean like raves and the face glitter and like costumes, like House of Yes shit, like, which is dope. I'm all for any of that type of shit. But fuck around and try to wear a do-rag to go to Tao. Like, it's not going to happen.
Of course. You know where you're at. and you, of course, have expressed how you've been stopped at, what was it? You were wearing, like, something that was, like, kind of like capris, but they weren't.
I was wearing, yes. I forgot the bar. There's like, a basic-ass bar on, like, 13th Street, kind of right off of Union Square. Has a rooftop. It's called like Bar 13.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever.
Bar
I had linen, drop crotch, cropped pants, and the dude just wasn't fucking with me. He was just like, "Yo, I can't let you in. You got sweats on." It's like,
these are linen.
I was just like, what? I was really confused. I've gotten shat on. IDs.
Yeah.
I've gotten shat on at the door before, and that's fine. Like, I understand. You have a fitted on. You cannot get in. Cool. Understand that. But like, by no stretch of the imagination was I wearing sweatpants.
They just looked like it to him.
No, there was no way.
Lionel's expressing that he doesn't even know the type of pants he was wearing, and he just classified them as sweatpants.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. To him, they looked like sweatpants.
They
weren't.
But there was no way to confuse them as such. They
well,
weren't.
When you're not
He's like,
fashionably,
if they don't look like jeans to me, or dress pants to me,
because they weren't denim to him.
I don't know, man. But either way, I saw like white boys come out in shorts and shit. I was just like,
that's
yo,
obnoxious.
Yeah, it is what it is. But it's that self-loathing shit. He was a black dude and probably thought I was also black. We're all black, so it doesn't matter. But it's just like, he was just like, nah, I'm not gonna let you in. You think you fly? That hostility.
That comment alone. Yeah. That comment alone. It's like, let me speak to your fucking manager.
Which isn't gonna do anything.
Well, it's funny. I wanted. This conversation made me think of something I saw on the internet recently, where there's a certain venue in the Lower East Side.
I wanted to ask about that.
Kind regards. I'm speaking neutrally. I'm not involved, but what I've been observing, and I asked around a little bit about it from people who do regularly work there, is Kind Regards was recently accused of being racist.
Ooh.
So, people get on socials and they cancel culture, blah blah blah. So allegedly, people of color, or maybe specifically just black people, I think, were not let in for whatever reason. Or and then a black female DJ had an issue with them too. I don't know if it was the same day, maybe it led up to it on another day, but then she called them racist too. And then a day or so later, after both of these incidents were made public, Kind Regards posts like a recap photo of like all black people dancing at their club. So then people were like, wait, what? How you gonna post this picture of us yet shit on us at the door and mistreat us in the DJ booth and blah blah blah?
They're trying to clean up, and then they
trying to put
so
a
it
Band-Aid
seemed
on it.
Yeah, so it seemed like they were guilty in trying to project. Let's see what's up.
What's up?
And the interesting thing
for
was,
those of you wondering why there's strange pauses in the middle of the show, Lionel and Jason have the not bird's eye view, but like a pretty good view of everybody walking through Canal Street.
people are smiling and greeting us.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
like we're important. Because we are, Johan. All right, we have headphones on and mics in front of us,
and we're dressed in Nike apparel.
Technology
On Canal Street.
Yeah, people were openly complaining on Twitter and making posts, and I saw that Kind Regards was literally responding to everyone's comments in the post.
What were they saying?
Like, nah, but what had happened? What had happened was
your mans came through with a skateboard and graffitied on our walls.
It's like bullshit. And I was like, and I asked a friend of mine who she hosts a party there often. I was like, yo, what's up with them? Like, who runs their social media? Why are they replying to comments? Let alone turn the comments off.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, yeah, they're bugging. She was like, I spoke to someone there, and she's like, they were going into people's DMs and responding to keep the dialogue open. I'm like, yo, y'all bugging. Turn the comments off.
Turn them
That's
shits
not
off.
open on
delete
you.
Cut your losses.
Yeah, delete the picture and then post one Instagram story that says, we're sorry, all is welcome. You know what I'm saying? Like, simple.
See,
or
The matter has been handled.
yeah,
All are
internally,
welcome. Yeah.
Yeah, even if it's a lie.
or fuck
Even if it's a
y'all.
lie.
We said what we said.
Whites only.
Whites only. Yeah, like either stand by it or don't. You know
At
what I'm
least
saying?
keep
Like,
your dignity.
shit.
Jeez.
Stand
keep
for
it
something.
Yeah, keep it real. Like,
I'm gonna touch on two things
Imagine they said-
related. Yeah, whites only.
yo, can I be honest?
Yeah, it would have been
you,
high.
sometimes you wish they would.
Real talk, my feelings would have not been hurt if they did that. I'd be like, yo, that's fucked up, but it's kind of lit.
This is
It's kind of
the
lit.
first honest lounge in New York City.
Yeah, they're like, yo, at least they're being honest. Like,
Yo, fuck y'all, whites only.
hey,
That would like a poster,
yo.
like in some like just do it font or
Oh
some
my
shit.
god.
And that's not some self-hatred shit. That's just some,
Yeah.
like, we come from nightlife and, like, yo. I mean,
Yo, no, I appreciate it.
Pay for your drinks.
We appreciate it when venues keep it real.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
A good segue to that was this was 6 years ago maybe. I've always worked at the start of my career. I've worked in like corporate settings, so white people,
You don't say.
just basic kind of people.
Uh-huh.
I was going out one day in Chelsea. Damn, I don't
What?
remember the name of the venue. It's like upstairs. It's like by Slade and Bounce, but like it's another thing or whatever. I don't know. We go upstairs, and there's this Hispanic bouncer, a Latino bouncer. And I'm with a white woman and an
Sad to
Asian
say
woman.
Latino.
Yeah, well, because I'm
Continue.
being descriptive, man. Because I am too. And we roll up, and I had my jacket on, so I like go to check it. And the girls that I were with, one who was white, one who was Asian, went along ahead of me, and I followed them maybe like 10 feet behind.
a few two
steps,
yeah.
a few
A couple
two
paces.
Yeah, I wasn't
You
right
weren't-
with
You
them.
weren't close enough.
I wasn't close enough.
Yeah.
So he
Yeesh.
stopped me. He was just like, "Hey, where you going?" I was just like, "Oh no, just I checked my code. I'm with them." He was like, he turned around at the girls
Mhm.
and turned back at me and said,
No, you're not.
"No, you're not."
What?
And I was just
I
like,
mean, I'm not surprised, but you want
"What?" And I was just like, "Yo," I called the joints, and I was just
They
like,
heard you. Please tell me they heard you.
"No, they didn't. No, the joints heard me."
Oh, okay,
And
what
they were
was
like,
that?
"Yo," so he was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Damn, yo, we supposed to be in this together."
You said that to him?
I did.
Uh-huh.
Because
No,
that was like the wildest, most ignorant,
Of course.
sad, and I wasn't offended.
Mhm.
I was sad that he would think that just because I wasn't white or Asian that
He
I
think-
wasn't with those
He
women.
thinks less of himself.
Exactly. It's that
Yeah.
self-loathing
That's
shit.
self-hatred shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's on some like, if I'm not hanging out with girls,
That's how
You ain't.
that's
you
house
ain't
nigga
hanging
shit.
out with
Yeah.
girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's sad.
That was
It's
fucked up.
sad if they didn't fucking piss me off every goddamn day that I go out into this
Bouncers
terrible
do?
cesspool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Still.
you know what? I've worked with plenty of
I wanna-
bouncers, and I feel like every bouncer that I ever worked with,
Yeah.
it gets to a point where like they're jerks at first, and then you kind of understand already.
Yeah.
And honestly, working in a bar in New York City will get you into a certain point where you are putting people in categories. Anything. Not even just people
Yeah.
of racial like anything. White people. I mean, just down to like how people show up with the way they dress, with the way they
course.
tip you, with
You
the way
can't
they
help
order a drink, with what they order.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is. I want to say everyone would rather have people in a filing cabinet than to have every customer just come in as a random, like, I don't know what this person's going to do.
Sure.
So when it comes to bouncers, think about what they just deal with in
Yeah.
general.
They need to categorize quickly.
Mhm.
They're just like in, out, trouble, not. I was Upper West years ago with some of my boys. My boy Sal, who's a Dominican male, and his cousins. Um, we were celebrating some sort of trying to watch a game, and you're one of those spots that has like power hour.
Sports bar.
Yeah, like that has like every hour on the hour,
Free
it's
shot
like
or something?
shots are 25 cents and like dollar beers or some shit. I don't know.
So Sal was getting fucked up. Is what it is,
Yeah,
right?
we were trying to watch a game, or well, I don't know what it was, a celebration of some sorts too, and some trouble at the door. The ratios were not legit. Across the board, whether it was us or the white dudes in the camper backpacks and the sandals and shit. White dudes get, hey, like, hey, all right, cool, let him in. He lets a couple people in, and he gets to one of his cousins. We get in all good, and one of the cousins bouncer stops. He goes, hey, I don't want any trouble. He was just like, what? What are you talking about?
I'm only 21.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Jesus.
It's so weird, man. I will say though, I don't know any of the specifics around.
I just
kind
can't help
regards.
but hear racist comments like that in like a southern
Hey.
accent.
I don't want any trouble now.
Yeah, don't want no trouble now.
Hey,
Hey, boy.
I
No
want
trouble here now, boy.
We let you in here today. We ain't gonna let you in here tomorrow if you keep up the shit.
You gonna learn today.
I'm gonna give you a chance. Don't make me regret it. But I don't know what happened.
I've had trouble figuring out the name of this podcast, like side chick or a reason to hang out. We might just have something racist. Something racist.
Whites only.
Something racist with the good evening.
Yeah. The kind regard situation. Going back to that real quick. I don't know what the issue is, and I'll probably never know.
I don't know. I know what the issue is.
Oh, you do? You know the actual thing that happened?
I can actually guess, and I
You
will
know,
probably
or
put-
you're guessing?
I'm
What are we
guessing.
doing here?
I can guess, but I will guess confidently.
Okay.
And
Shoot.
Let me. Can I hold? I'm gonna preface that and say. Even I've been guilty of it. The people that I've been with have been guilty of this, where we don't understand why we weren't let in, and have been oblivious to the way we pulled up to the spot.
hmm
And again, it goes back to like knowing your surroundings,
Mhm.
knowing who you are, knowing how deep you are, what your ratio is, knowing how you're behaving and acting and looking
Absolutely.
and just
feeling entitled.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like you roll up if it's 5 dudes
Uh huh.
and you act like you don't know each other, and you spread it out a little bit, maybe 5 minutes each, you're good. One dude is, I mean, unless it's super packed, like you're not gonna turn one guy down, especially if he says I'm meeting friends inside or like some shit like that.
No.
If you do it respectfully, like
No.
you really
I've
don't
never
get turned
really had
down
that
like
problem.
that.
I'm alone. Yeah, absolutely.
If
not.
you're 5 dudes deep in foam posits and Jordans, then it's like, yo, I don't want any trouble now. I want to hear your guess.
If there's only one phrase that I can say that will encapsulate why it happened, why it used to be all good, and why it isn't. This is why we can't have nice things.
Kind regards being a nice thing.
Well, any bar,
Mhm.
honestly, that opens its doors to like just be in that spot on a Tuesday or Wednesday.
Mhm.
I mean, and you're talking to someone who's been I'm always looking for a place from Monday to Thursday just to chill at, like since like the Sway days, like 06 and 07. It's like the only reason that place stayed open so long was because the owner didn't mind the reputation of having the cops come through. He was friends with like certain people in the department. Like
Mhm.
it wasn't anything to him. When you think about all these other bars,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying like it's the hood only, because it's not. It's that like it's that kind of like New York nightlife. Like I'm gonna fly girls. I'm gonna come through with some those fly girls invite whatever skateboarder they met on Tinder. Those dudes know whoever the hell they know from where they're coming from. There's plenty of people who work in the industry. There's whatever new up and coming rapper is in that neighborhood. Like, it's that whole kind of circus of
It's
nightlife
that,
in
yeah.
New York that comes
Circus
from
is a
everywhere.
Circus is a good way.
That comes
to,
from anywhere. It comes from
yeah.
New York. It's people who are just coming in from Chicago. It's people who are just coming in from Los Angeles.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
you even have like you're dressed up European heads that I don't want to go to a lounge tonight. I don't want to go to
They want to be.
they
They want to. They want to do the fuck shit.
It's that entire circus, right? That circus is only sustainable for so long before somebody breaks something, somebody gets too entitled, somebody invites too many people from where they're from, whether it be too many, brawler English European dudes, whether it be too many
Sure.
underage, pretty girls from so and so, whether it be too many
Hofstra.
whether it be too many of your boys from whatever project you came from, because like that's the thing, like everybody who goes to a spot like that and it's great, they never shut up about it. They're like, yo, this place
Right.
on Tuesdays is popping.
Put me on.
Put
And
me
then
on,
my mans,
bro.
and then
I wanna,
And they
like,
post it on Instagram, they post it wherever they post it, and they're just like, yo, when's the next time you're going, bro?
yeah,
Like
that's why you left everyone in the hood.
but it goes like that, and the thing is,
Yeah.
people, honestly, I would say people are a lot more generous about their nightlife
Than they used to be.
than they used
I
to
want
be.
to, I want to say this, a couple things to respond to both of the things you're saying. As far as what I have been informed with the kind regard situation specifically, it was allegedly the door person, which happened to be, I believe, a Caucasian female. Allegedly, she was being prejudiced in some ways. That allegedly. This is a door person that I've seen and have worked with at other venues before. My privilege is that I DJ, and I'm a fly nigga. So,
Let's not forget that.
I've never had an issue with this
Don't encourage.
with this door person. I also know how to deal with door people
Finesse.
like that and finesse.
But you talk
my-
to most people in that industry.
Sure,
like
sure,
that.
sure. But that's the thing. What I wanted to say was, when I saw what happened, I was like, damn, if they are being discriminatory, but still trying to if they're like shitting on black people behind closed doors, but then trying to promote like they're
Oh,
pro-black,
yo,
then that's
honestly,
annoying
Without a doubt.
and hurtful.
Let
but-
me stop you right there, just real
Okay.
quick. Without a doubt, every venue is shitting on black people behind
Yeah,
closed
sure,
doors
sure,
in
sure.
some way or another.
Yeah, sure.
They're shitting on immigrant staff,
Sure.
one way behind the other. If you're a money-making venue in New York City,
You're most likely racist.
I'm not saying like, hey, Nazi salute,
Yeah, I know,
KKK
no.
shit, but you're doing something.
You're discriminatory because you start to really understand where your dollars are coming from, and you start to study demographics. Like you said, people who work in the food and service,
Start
hospitality
It's an unfortunate
industries. Yeah, you start to pinpoint and categorize, blah blah blah, and
It's an unfortunate
compartmentalize whatever. That said,
The margins.
yes. That said, the reason why I can make a joke like, if Con Regards did say "fuck y'all whites only," it would be funny to me, is not because I would also participate in that notion, because I'm not white, but we come from a time where there were asshole door people who you had to respect and know. And I've had door people who were black, who just like you said, and they would reject someone or reject me or whatever, give me a hard time, not because of so much race or jealousy, but just because they were assholes and they were elitists. And there's a part of me that's not mad at that.
and you had to work your way up to their shit.
Because for me, it's about like you had to earn their respect. You had to come back the next week and get it right. And I know, especially in our like pre-21 days, you had to learn that. You'd like try to go to a spot, like how you're not conscious. You're not conscious of how you're rolling up. You're not conscious of your ratio. Maybe y'all intoxicated when you pull up, because that was definitely like the move.
The pregame for 3 hours.
Yeah, like
then you
the
pull up.
pregame is so hard, you're drooling and and rolling to the door, and
'Cause everybody
and
thinks
they're
they're
looking
the
at
only
you
ones.
like, yo, you're wild. You can't
Yeah,
come in here with
absolutely.
that.
Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Everybody, there's a lot of
But
people.
when they
with the
do let you in with
mentality-
that, it's lit.
Not up
That's
in
the
here.
thing, though. A lot of people come with the mentality like this place is not lit
Sure.
until we show up.
Sure. So
Yeah.
my thing is what we have learned, over the years through experience, is how to do that, how to finesse that situation. Whether that is A, being on time and not being too late, or B, like for certain events, you know what I'm saying? Especially like the RSVP type joints where it's like,
Yeah.
you can't come in late because you're not getting in. So you got to be there early. You got to be humble, you wait that extra time. Or if you're fly and you're coming late,
Everybody
your
wants
ratio
to be fly.
your ratio's on point.
Proper.
For me, it's like if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna come with some females, and they're standing in front of me, and I'm gonna keep them to the side, not even get online. I'm gonna keep them to the side or have them get online
until it's handled.
Step away by myself and talk to the bouncer or the third person and say, "Excuse me, let me holler at you."
How are you, sir?
Yeah, good
evening.
Good evening. You know what I'm saying?
It's important.
You got to come at them correct.
Yeah.
And when I was actually DMing Ricky Temple about this, I was like, yeah, again, if they're racist, that's whack. But I'm not mad at bougie elitist door people.
No.
Assuming they're not racist. But I think this new generation, you mentioned the word entitled, this new generation.
They're quick to play the victim card.
Quick to play the victim, quick to cancel, very entitled, with no history.
With no dues paid.
No dues paid. And especially, too, I'll keep it funky, like, you know, being pro-black and woke is very in style right now. And I think people misuse elitism or, you know, prejudices as they write it off as racism a lot.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes
it's
just
not
acting up.
Yeah, sometimes it's not
and
racism.
you need to be
Sometimes
told you can't come in because
sometimes you're whack.
Yeah.
And sometimes you
I wish
just didn't
more
come correct.
fucking people
Exactly.
would admit to that. I'm like, sometimes it's not racist. Sometimes you're just being whack.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like-
and me and you actually just had a situation where we saw that, where late night, we witnessed that.
Yeah, we witnessed it.
Late night at a spot, I was DJing. I feel bad. I don't know.
Don't say what you were
Yeah,
doing.
it's so difficult not to drop names. I was
Don't say what you
DJing,
were
got out late, and there's a food spot like 2 doors down.
3 blocks away.
Sure. Go to the spot.
Let's talk about this off the air.
Yeah. It's not it. It was just an example of seeing.
It's a dude being corny and then blaming it on him being black instead of him being corny.
Yes.
In the street, like he was
Blaming it
saying
on,
that.
like saying like.
It was disappointing to watch him play. He got in an argument with a white girl.
3 white girls.
With 3 white girls, him and his boy, and they were black. And it was disappointing to witness how it unfolded, where drunkenly he did play the race card, and after observing the argument, it was like, dude,
them
this
out of the
isn't
restaurant.
It wasn't about
Yeah.
like they weren't being racist towards you. You were being misogynist towards them. And he played like he was like, oh, it must be a race thing.
Right.
And it was just like, dude, I was black and I was watching. And again, this isn't self-hate. This isn't me coming to the aid of the white girl.
Right.
Well, the black man must have done
Yeah,
something wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
but
no.
it was literally like, nah, like, and his man who initiated the tension even admitted it and stopped his boy and was like, all right, nah, this was my fault.
Yeah.
They started because I hit on them and like said something slick. And I'm
it.
like, yeah. They didn't say.
He still.
Yeah, and his man still didn't hear him. Like, it wasn't like the girls were like, get away from us, you black beast. That didn't happen.
They were just like, leave us alone.
They were just like,
please.
hey, leave us alone.
Yeah.
And then his man turned it into something else. So it was just like witnessing that. It was sad, but it was also funny as fuck. But you know, things like that. That's what I'm saying. Like being 33.
If he's listening, I hope he's okay and is learning the error of his ways.
I don't hate this person. I'm not close with this person, but
We might run into him again.
it was just disappointing to watch.
Yeah, to see that.
See that. But again, that's what I'm saying. Like, as a black man, like, no matter who you see me kicking it with, no matter, you know, what I'm doing or how I'm dressed, I'm still a black man. That'll never change. You know what I'm saying? And I'm completely conscious of that. And that's to say, I've had full-on racist experiences and full-on
You're being a dick.
like just personality. You know what I'm saying? Differences of personality or differences of candor, and that. And I've even I've been a dick sometimes. I've sometimes have rolled up like, you know, like my shit don't stink, and have been penalized for it. Right, and occasionally, rightfully so. And I think with this younger, newer generation, I don't think they're aware of that. Like, especially in New York, and especially with nightlife. You know, you got to carry yourself in certain ways, and it's not about not being black.
Yeah,
it's not always racist. It's just it could be classist. I'll give you that.
Yeah. And
but with that again comes personality, swag. You know what I'm saying? The company you keep, and a lot of motherfuckers don't know how to roll up and like, you know what I'm saying, carry themselves in a proper way.
I feel everything you're saying 100%. I also don't hate the asshole doorman. I think they made New York with since Studio 54.
Yes.
Like Krista was just watching a documentary on Studio 54, and they were going in about how the door people were like, nope, you can't come in with that hat. Go home and change. They were like that. It was like that level of savagery,
Yes.
but it made New York what it is.
I miss that.
Now, I'll say this though.
We need that.
Yeah, we need a level of it,
Yes.
but we can't get it anymore because the playing field has leveled.
The politics are.
It's just there's so many spots. One,
yeah.
there's so many people,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing's kept a secret.
Also, there's no policing it.
And
Like,
there's no
Who's
one's.
to say there's any favoritism?
There's no rules. There's no
favoritism.
parameters.
Yeah.
It's just too easy for people to have. There are too many options.
There's plenty of places I've been
there
to.
isn't the thirst that
Yeah.
used to be. Yo, I want to get in here. I need to get in
Because
here.
back then it was only like few spots and you had to be there.
Yeah.
So it's like if you weren't getting in, your night is fucked. Now it's like, oh,
Now
you're
you
not getting
can
here.
do it.
Oh, we going here.
You
Also,
can go anywhere.
Yeah.
Easily now in New York, you could open a venue where there's nobody working, either management or the door, could be just anything. Anybody who's been in, like, let's say the scene or downtown area or something like that, and they just let in all their friends, like based on whatever industry they're coming from.
Yep.
And there's like no, it's not. It could just be as prejudiced as possible. But it's
Yeah,
a thing.
man. No, of course. I mean, there's always going to be nepotism and favoritism, and that's what I said. Like
That's the thing. Yeah, I feel like nepotism goes a long way nowadays.
Of course.
especially, too.
I mean, again, but that comes with earning those relationships or earning that respect, and like, I don't think. I don't think it's bad to be selective at the door. I don't think that's wrong. I think
I don't think so either.
if you're upholding a brand or an
I
identity,
get
and
like
you're
that
trying
sometimes too. When I go to
Yeah.
a place and I'm like, oh man, there's already too many of like these collared shirts, or there's too many of these like these skateboarders
To,
standing up.
say coons.
There's no. No,
I know.
I
I
like
know.
everything. You know me. Like I'm the type of person who likes to go somewhere. This is why I have a hard time going out anywhere other than New York, because I don't like too many of
Of the same thing.
of the same thing.
I'm the same. I need it extra diverse. Like I need a hot
And you know,
a
yeah,
mix.
yeah, for sure. You know what pains me? I have homies that come out once in a while, like a birthday, like a big celebration or whatever. The latest one, my celebration at my
I'm sorry
birthday
for missing
celebration
that.
at
I'm sorry for missing that.
It's all good.
Had a wedding.
It's all good. At last lap, sorry. One of the homies who's my man's cousin who like moved to Cleveland. I was in Boston, just whatever, has had the experience that he's had. Came through. He was just like, "Yo, man, I gotta tell you, man. Like, I'll say this. I'll say this.
I'll
I'll
say
say
this.
this.
I
Like
that.
every
I like that.
every time Flock takes us out, people used to call some people that knew me in college call me Flacco,
Mm-hmm.
as Flock for short. But she was like, "Yo, man, Flock, every time you come out, every time you take me out, man, it's diverse, man." Like, yo,
nothing greater than a hood booger acknowledging diversity.
he was just like, "Yo, man, like the spots are cool, man. Like they're different. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just I love that because they're homies, and I'm just like, yo, I want to share that with a handful of them, right? Just like, and it's not like I'm the god and showing them ways that they'll never see.
But that feeling is what the dude who invites all of his homies to the Monday spot.
Yeah. I don't take
every
advantage.
week
I'm not
chasing.
doing that. Yeah, he's chasing
He's
that
chasing that
rep
feeling
of being the one that
constantly.
knows it.
Yeah.
Hey, that was
But
that was you.
but what the thing is, he doesn't realize.
I'm okay with it.
But he doesn't realize that all of his homies want.
It's that
want
you're
what
fucking
he
it
has,
up. Yeah.
And want what he has.
And they want to make it their own.
I put
But
my niggas on, my niggas put my niggas on.
yeah, the right ones though.
Yeah. Y'all.
The right ones. No, seriously, that's a big, like some people you need to leave
At home.
behind at home.
Hey,
I'm gonna be honest.
I only hang out with y'all.
I'm not saying you.
Oh, I thought you. Oh,
No
I thought
one's
you were
saying
like,
you.
He's
I'm
just
saying-
he's
In general,
he's
general.
projecting.
Yeah,
He's
I'm
projecting his own shit.
I'm
Gotcha.
projecting. If your man doesn't know how to speak to women, you need to leave him.
Oh, I hear you. No, of course. And I mean, I
He
think
doesn't respect women.
if he doesn't respect women, we don't hang out with him.
You leave him in that elevator. You say, I'm getting off on the second floor. Wait for me in the lobby. And you leave through the parking lot.
No, I hear you. I hear you. You know.
Not that I did that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be a doorman. Before I wanted to be a DJ, I wanted to be a doorman.
I
Not
had
telling him.
short fantasies of
Yeah.
that, just like glimpses of being that dude that's just out there and like,
And the casual gander, like
I've worked
Nah.
a lot. I've worked plenty of doors where you not at nightlife things, but at events. Where you assume the role. People, yeah.
The thing about
People
that
treat
is
you differently.
oh,
the only thing about that is people who you piss off will follow you home.
what?
People who you piss off will follow you home.
As a bartender,
As-
maybe.
No,
Yeah,
as a
they're gonna
doorman.
stay there till 4 a.m.
As a doorman.
Right? Like
Oh yeah, motherfuckers have nothing to do. Like, they will.
like
if it-
vendettas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess doorman
I'll come back
vendettas
for you,
is probably
bro.
a real
I'll,
thing.
s- I'll say
Come
this.
back for you, bro.
Yeah, I was
I'll
gonna
go
say
to the bar around the corner.
that's
I'll
true.
see you at
Yeah,
4:30,
no, you're
my
right.
dude.
You're right.
Like,
7 drinks later.
That's true.
yeah.
Yeah, in the
It's
90s.
like, and it won't even like it won't even be
90s.
it won't even be like he's thinking about it in a second. He'll go to a bar around the corner, get
Oh, yeah?
drunk. It'll be 4. Like, you know what?
I got heats for niggas like you, cuz.
I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
pop the trunk one time.
That being said,
Get the strap.
Yo, funny thing. Remember Valentine's Day? This wildest shit I heard. So I'm banned from a certain venue membership, a fancy membership venue here in New York City. You know, indefinitely, whatever. I did an event there that was great, successfully.
Strange flex, but
Yeah, strange
okay.
flex, but okay, yeah. Like financially, it did really well. It played out really well. Flew in some amazing talent, but I OD'd and like publicized the RSVP. We had like over 800 RSVPs. We had a line around the block. It was stupid.
You,
this past
you-
Valentine's Day or the one before?
Valentine's Day of 2017.
let's
Okay.
let's be very honest.
Yeah.
You did exactly what they asked you not to do.
Yes.
Cool.
Am I thinking of the right place?
And basically, it got so out of control that one of their complaints as to why they banned me and were angry with me is that apparently people that didn't get in called the venue threatening the door staff. Who like people basically anyone who didn't get in, whoever it was, called the door staff. Like called it was like, yo, like it's a wrap for you. Like I got heat for niggas like you, cuz.
I know. You know what? I know why that happened. I'm gonna talk about it off air.
But the fucked up thing is, it was
I know exactly who contributed to that kind
I'm
of
quoting Baby
those
Blue.
kind of guess.
But the fucked up thing is, it was women. It was a female staff, and it was like dudes
Who got
who got threatened, which is fucked up. So the female staff like had to take Ubers home, and like the staff, like security had to like escort them into the Uber
So you were banned for a
because
reason.
these girls were like scared for their lives.
You're a monster. You should never be allowed.
That wasn't me
ever
though.
again.
That wasn't me though. But you know what? When we're talking about exclusivity, it's interesting because it makes me real talk. Like even though my mind is the way it is,
That must be hard to manage.
that's what I'm trying to say. I often think about even if I go to like the coolest, chicest, trendiest, whitest spot. If I don't, and I hate being frisked, but in my age now, if I'm not being frisked, I don't feel safe.
You should
It's
be
dangerous
Yo, you should be frisked
everywhere.
you
You should
go.
be
Yes.
happy to be frisked.
Real talk,
Yes, you should.
niggas should be frisked
You should.
here at Canal Street Market.
In this America today,
They should be frisked on the subway. I don't
talking
feel
about my basic rights.
I don't
sir.
feel safe. And real
No,
talk,
you're right.
my last comment, I just want to say this. I had a very throwback New York experience last night. It was very intriguing. Shout out to Wall Play, like art, situation. They basically rent out a bunch of different spaces here on Canal Street for you can rent it out. You could do a pop up. You could do whatever you want.
Yeah.
This dope ass punk band who's like popping right
Oh,
now
I saw your story.
called Show Me the Body. They're like media darlings. Like everyone's fucking with them right now. It was a sold out show. I got taken there by surprise. Crazy punk show, mosh pits, yelling, beer throwing, all that. Stage diving, all it was wild. And it was a dope experience. I haven't done that in a long time. But as soon as I walked, we actually pulled up, got right in because Shorty, was related to the door chick or whatever. So,
Which short?
but I didn't feel safe. And I was like, yo, like, especially with the moshing, and I'm with two girls.
You missed that feeling.
So I was literally, I missed that feeling, but again, now I'm 30 plus, I felt a little concerned. And I was with these girls, and they were like, yo, can you, like, help? I'm like, yeah. Like, one of the girls, she's like, yo, I'm going to lean up against you. Like, I'm not, like, pushing you. I'm just, like, you're, like, breaking my fall. I was like, yeah, I got you. The other one who's, like, a little shorter, I, like, have my arm around her. Cause yo, it got to it was like this, like
Yeah.
pushing, like wild, like think about a real punk show.
Yeah.
And it got and it
They're
was,
fun.
and it was it was fun, but it also felt dangerous. And I was just like,
As long as
damn.
you're not responsible for a female, they're really, really fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I'm walking in with two girls, so I'm like, someone pushes them, I gotta help them, I gotta fight somebody, whatever. But when we walk in, there's no cops. But when we only stay for like 15, 20 minutes. Walk out, there's cops. I'm like, yeah, this shit's about to get shut down. And I eventually heard that it did. But it was crazy to see a line like that right here on Canal in Mercer. That felt wild. Like I was like, yo, felt like a high school loft party. Like it's lit. Walk right in, it's lit. Then it's dangerous. It's too lit. And I'm like, yo, it's just I'm saying like the range of emotions in a matter of like 50
couple minutes.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was exhilarating. It was exhilarating. But again, like I said, like in New York, it's weird. That's what I'm saying. I'm not mad at elitist bartenders. I'm not mad when bouncers got to do this. Sometimes you don't know who you fucking with. You know what I'm saying? People are crazy, and as much as things aren't cool anymore. Where it's just like we only know. Everybody knows now.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just don't know who's really in your spot. And again, that's not race. That's just
cautionary words.
that's just a New York mentality. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Like,
that being said, everybody stay strapped.
Stay safe. Stay strapped.
We hope you enjoy this episode of. I guess it's still the good evening for now.
Still the good evening.
It will always be the good evening, John.
Fine. It will always be the
Shout
good
out to Listening Party. Shout out to Canal Street Market.
Yep.
Go check out my new single Distractions on all streaming platforms.
Do not watch the video at work.
Yeah. Watch the video when you're alone at night, not at work.
Or not in front of your girlfriend either.
Unless your girlfriend's
or
cool.
whatever. Or unless your girlfriend's cool.
And likes titties.
Yeah. I mean, and if that's the case, then God bless you, sir.
All right. We're out.
One.